Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandrago's Cave. Today we are gonna be talking about Fisher Tiger and a few small spoilers from 1168. I do not do this normally. I normally analyze the episode, talk about the character in general, but I came upon spoilers. I didn't want to, but obviously it's unavoidable sometimes, and some of the key things that happen are very important, and I think it's worth to just maybe mention it a little bit, some of my thoughts. And then when we have full episode, maybe I can do a post as well in my daily posts that I do here in YouTube as well, talking about some of the points of the episode, okay, of the chapter, okay, of the manga 1167. Let's start drawing Tiger here, okay? So we know I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a mix. Some things that I've seen important in the chapter and some things that I see regarding the past of this character. So I love the story of the Gyojins. The saga itself, it is true that it becomes a little bit heavy. I think this saga is one of those sagas that Oda is trying to make like an anchor, like Arabasta, for example, like Skypiea, for example. There are some specific sagas, important sagas, with a lot of lore, a lot of important characters, a lot of families or bloodlines coming from the past, and the Gyojins, obviously, with the, Shirahoshi and Neptune and everyone, and the poneglyphs is one of these. So what happens with Fisher Tiger? Who is Fisher Tiger? Fisher Tiger is, as far as we know, a captain, a pirate captain from the Gyojin. Very strong in his youth. He kind of put together the Gyojin district. That was kind of the bad guys of the Gyojins were living there, and he kind of gathered all these groups, all these tribes of misfits. Let's say, Arlong and company, Makuro and company, with Hachi, with all the Gyojins that we know, more or less, he gathered them together. There were other important characters there as well that they grew together with him, like Jinbei, for example. That Jinbei, for a period of time, he became a very important member of the Royal Guard, and later ended up being the first in command on Fisher Tiger crew. So we have a character within Fisher Tiger that shows leadership, shows commitment, and not only with his own race, the Gyojins, but with everyone. So this is very important because Fisher Tiger, like Otohime in the Gyojin saga, in the flashback, they are the characters of the change. They want to have change. Both of them have pretty similar storylines in the outcome that they want to achieve, but they address them or they kind of tackle them in different ways, okay? Otohime is more political, Fisher Tiger becomes more, rebel pirate, okay? But good pirate. This, I'm just talking, I'm not drawing, but this is something, I'm gonna do a caricature because I really like this character, and probably I give him a little bit of my style instead of making him so Oda. Probably, okay? Just let's see how is this gonna end up, okay? So why I wanted to draw him? In a nutshell, he is in the episode this week. He's in 1167, and we see that he has a brief encounter with who we supposed to be Shanks. Shanks in Marijoa, Shanks God Knight, Shanks dressing elegant, not dressing like a pirate. And this Shanks I don't like, but we talked in various episodes. I'm gonna put here in various videos. I'm gonna put here one of the videos about Shamrock, where I talk about this already. It was inevitable, it was necessary for the story, it was something that probably everyone expected already, that Shanks would be for a period of time with his family, okay, his biological family, and this is Shamrock, Garling, God's Knights, Imu, etc., etc. So all all these guys are bad, and we know that Shanks is good in theory. We know that Shanks has some sort of agenda, secret agenda. He's like a chess player, moving the pieces around. Like Luffy may be part of his plan, obviously. Maybe all the story with Luffy wasn't by chance. Maybe everything was intentionally. The first kind of clue that we have about this is when it is revealed like a couple of months ago, or I don't want to say years, but maybe it can be years, because with One Piece sometimes you lose the concept of time. We see that Shanks had a tattoo in the arm, and that tattoo was the symbol, the sign, this kind of anchor-looking type of anchor. It's like a mix between an anchor, like a cross, or like a, kind of a symbol, like a cross, basically. So we see that on him while he's talking with Gaban. So at that point we said, okay, we confirm our theory that Shanks spent a period of time with his family and trained as well, how he became so good with the sword as well, why he was rivaling the whole time Mihawk and everything. So to just put in context, what happens here is that Fisher Tiger is running away from Marijoa. In this running away, he encounters Shanks, and Shanks is very quick. Fisher Tiger tries to attack him, and he just scratches him on the face, apparently. And all of this was because Shanks was gonna liberate him, release him from the collar, the explosive collar, the shackles that he is wearing, like all the slaves in One Piece. Okay, so. Obviously, as I said, I don't have all the context of the episode, but that is my thought. What I think what is happening here is that during this episode, Shanks is seen a couple of times talking with the brother, talking with some important people there, having some interactions with Harold as well, and that Harold here went completely crazy, like being another piece in this board game, like for Imu, like doing whatever Imu wants, and there's gonna be a lot of consequences with this. He has a tattoo as well, so that means that he was part as well of this group of chosen ones, let's say. It doesn't need to be, I don't think this is implying that if you have the tattoo, you are a God Knight. That's something that I want to make clear here. I think if you are having a pact with Imu, if you are working for Imu, kind of employed, you will be branded like this, with this magical mark that is going to give you magical capabilities, like we have seen some special things with the God Knights and the Gurusei and everything. Probably, like in a video game, this has different tiers. You can be a marked person with lower powers, higher powers, etc., etc. Maybe in the case of Harold, or maybe it could be as well that having the mark is gonna stop you at one point for the level of power that you can achieve, so you are not stronger than the boss, that in this case is Imu. Okay, a way of controlling your servants, you're controlling your slaves, something like this. It could be, okay? So, I am enjoying a lot the Elbaf flashback, because remember that we are in Elbaf and this is a flashback within Elbaf, and this is something very funny. Oda is giving us a crazy amount of information, and Oda is giving us what I would call all the important characters are being branded as heroes, saviors, helpers, assistants, you know. In the previous chapters we see how if Kuma wouldn't have done what Kuma did, this and that, you know, with Dragon, with Luffy, would have never happened. And then we realized as well, the other way around, that if Dragon wouldn't have taken Shanks, sacrificed this, boom, go, you know, stand against the Marines at the end and everything, other things wouldn't have happened. If Garp wouldn't have joined forces with Roger, etc., etc. If Jebek wouldn't have faced his enemy and let the woman, no, his wife, escape, Teach wouldn't have been, blah, 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 blah. So we are seeing that all these top tier One Piece characters doesn't matter if they are stronger or weaker, all of those top tier characters in One Piece, the most important characters in One Piece, have a storyline, important things that if they wouldn't have done it, nothing would have panned as it happened nowadays, okay? So, I want to know your opinion as well if you have read the episode. I want to know as well if you are enjoying as much as I am, and, know your opinion. If you have some sort of contradiction with what I'm saying, if you are feeling contradicted with what I'm saying, please feel free to open conversation in the show more section, in the comment section. As well, if you are enjoying what I'm suggesting here, or what I'm connecting here, or what I'm talking about here as well, feel free to express it as well. It is always very nice to see comments building up in the show more section, and I appreciate it, okay? As well, if you want to have any kind of, let's say, recommendation that you want me to draw something specific and everything, as well, feel free to ask for it, and if I know about it or if I can fit it, I will definitely try to fit it in the story, okay? So we have here Fisher Tiger. I started drawing the head, but I went for the full body because the character is very tall, so as you can see, we are in the limit here, so you don't see the feet, but the feet is here at the bottom. Sorry about that, but I think I want to focus in having the head visible, okay? So let's do, this is going to be the neck. I love these Gyojin characters. I am able to picture how would they look if they were real, and I enjoy that so much. Sometimes I don't see Arlong, for example, especially with Arlong, I don't see Arlong with the style that was given in the how is it called? The live action. I like it, it's nice, it's interesting and everything, it's very creative, but I don't see it in that way, I see it in a different way. And with Fisher Tiger as well, with Jinbei as well, I can see them. I was lucky to, at some point, be able to interact with dolphins and touch them and everything, and the texture is very interesting. So how I was able to see that firsthand, I see these guys that they should have as well this kind of type of skin, let's say, and it is very nice. So maybe at some point I should do like a 3D model or something of all of these. But yeah, let's do. Let's do focus here, because so we don't go into different paths, different stories about all of these. So basically, what I want to define here, okay, is the implications. The implications are that because some of the pointers that we have in this episode, even if this kind of Shanks can be a very upset-looking person, or I think all of this is staged. I think what happened originally is, and I mentioned it before multiple times, is when Roger reaches to the end finds the One Piece, or reaches the end of the story and becomes the Pirate King and everything, he comes back to Lodestar. Buggy is there because he fell ill. This is something related of having a Akuma no Mi, having a fruit, and reaching this last island may be a tricky situation. So he's not the only one who falls ill as well in circumstances like this. We have as well Oden's wife in the same situation. But what happens here is basically Shanks decide to stay behind, and when they are back, there is a moment that they have a chat. Roger tells Shanks something, and Shanks gets very, very emotional. He's crying, pressing his hand against his head and everything. He told him something, and I always thought that at that point he reveals to him, look, yes, you knew that you were a found child, we adopted you here, you knew this already, I think. They never kept it a secret, I think. And what he tells him is, your family, yes, I have discovered the truth of the world, and your family is very bad. Even if we had interactions with, Figureland, with everyone, they had interactions before with the Holy Knights, with the bad guys. They maybe had some sort of hope that, as Vegapunk says in previous episodes, not everyone is good and not everyone is bad. But probably I think what he discovered is that yes, the Figureland guys are bad, all of them. This is kind of a generational situation. They are kind of groomed to be like this, and sadly, you are family as well of these guys. And I think Roger, what Roger says is, you don't have to be like that. I think Roger what says is you can break this let's say curse. Let's call it a curse. You can break this and be your own man, be your own person, and try to do your own thing. You don't have to follow their path. And that is what, in my opinion, it is happening here, and that's why he cries, because he realized that he's kind of, I don't know, cursed, let's say it, or he's kind of destiny is pushing him to do that. I think Shanks is a very clever person. It is stated multiple times that Shanks is a natural talent, so he's able to copy divine departure, that is one of the signature attacks from Roger, after seeing it only once or twice, and that is because he is something special, okay? So what happens here is that, in my opinion, being clever and everything, he says, I am gonna follow Roger's advice, but I need to see it for myself. So at that point that he denies the piracy to Buggy, and Buggy kind of gets upset and creates this type of frustration with him, and he doesn't wanna know anything else about him. He's kind of let down. He's very upset, like, I thought you were gonna be the next Pirate King. I thought you were gonna do this. So Buggy had a problem of expectations there, and because of this, he was broke. This broke him in the sense of he wanted Shanks to be his captain, he wanted Shanks to succeed, and he was gonna be his guy. He was gonna follow him as a number one, like brothers, because we see this relationship as brothers with these two characters from the very beginning. That is, I think, very, very beautiful to see something like this, or these guys growing together and everything. But it was doom in some sense. Shanks didn't want, probably because he appreciated Buggy, he didn't want Buggy to maybe be affected by his family name, by his legacy, call it like that, okay? So that's why he said, Buggy, you just go on and you do your own story, okay? Because I'm not ready to do this. I just want to do other things for the time being, okay? And then obviously they never came together again as a crew, because there is a resentment hidden there, and I think it is key for the story. And that's why, Buggy, whatever happens with Shanks, it is going to be completely tied to Buggy. Buggy needs to play a card in whatever Shanks is going to be doing at the very end of the story. And that is basically undeniable. The connections with Blackbeard and everything as well, that's gonna happen anyway. So what happens with Shanks there is, he said, Buggy, go on your own, I'll go on my own, I'll see you later, no bad blood here. And he goes to Marichua. This is a teenager, or a little bit, probably as a young teenager is when the Roger crew gets disbanded. As a young teenager, he explores a little bit on his own. Maybe he gathers a couple of nakamas already, like Yasop. We know his first guy was Yasop, so probably Yasop, Ben Beckman, a couple of guys, and he starts into this mix of learning what he learned from the pirate life, probably learning as well some truths of the world, some sort of Revolutionary Army information, let's say. At that point we can't talk about Revolutionary Army as such yet. Just in a couple of years maybe they are starting to become the freedom fighters and everything, but all of this is very early, because we need to think that this is after God Valley, a couple of years after God Valley, when Shanks, that it was baby, he has grown, maybe like 20 years, something like this. That is a teenager, a still teenager Shanks. Even if we think as well that Luffy was 15 at the beginning of the story, and now he's only a couple of years older, so it may be everything was in motion there already, but I think in his cleverness, what I want to say is in his cleverness, he decided to discover the truth of his family from himself. I think, and I said it multiple times, he decided to go back to Marijoa, say, hey, it's me. I got lost in that fight 20 years ago, and I just want to come back. Probably they tested him. They done some kind of mental test, so to see if he was going to be some sort of spy. Because he's so clever, he managed to overcome this. And he played his role of being bad and depicable, very nice probably. And they trained him. He befriended the brother. He tricked the brother. He didn't be. He wasn't kind of truthful, loyal to the brother. He was just pretending, doing an act. And once this was believable, and he has the mark, because he has the mark, as I said at the beginning, and he's granted the mark, he's granted the some sort of status in there. Then at some point, his intentions are more seen by the brother, seen by the father, and he decides to leave again and do his own things. Because the freedom of this guy, we need to be very mindful of the plan. He wanted to see who he was for real. This is one part of his story. And at the same time, because he knew all the things that he may have learned with Roger, he wanted to disband the Garling family, disband the Holy Knights, disband them from the inside. So he tried to infiltrate, okay? This can be very interesting. He helped him, he liberated slaves. He's being given a important savior role, like Dragon at the beginning, like Garp at the beginning, like Roger at the beginning, like Kuma at the beginning of the flashback, as I said before. So he's been given a savior role. The people who is doing these things, if they are saviors, they are not gonna be bad guys. They can look like they are a bad guy. So all of this kind of hate that we have online about, Shanks being a rat, Shanks being this, or maybe someone seeing this episode and saying, I knew it all along, he's a rat all along, and he's been a rat. No. I think he's playing the same card like Garp is playing. He's trying to destabilize everything from the inside, but the problem is that he was outside, so he came back, okay? And he tricked the family, and that's what I think what is happening. So, I think the situation with the Scar, he's given the Scar here by Fisher Tiger. He's seen wrapped, he has the head wrapped, and that is important. As far as we know, as far as I thought as well, the Scar, we thought it was given by Blackbeard. We thought, everything that we thought in the meeting between Shanks and Whitebeard wasn't the reality. The scars that are aching in Whitebeard's body after seeing Shanks' face, we thought it was gonna be twin brother evil, that it happened to be real, but it wasn't the scars made by him because he was too young. Or the father, it wasn't the case because we don't see any kind of Garling wounding fatally, like in a very dangerous position, Whitebeard. So Garling is focused in Shebek basically in the flashback, so it cannot be. So probably he's looking at Roger. I wanna think that when the wounds are aching, is because Roger and Whitebeard, yes, they were enemies, but they were nakamas, and the wounds were aching because they wounded each other probably, in life, in all the fights that they had all the time. So I want to think with good faith that these are wounds of of peace mains fighting. Okay, this peace main is the concept of the good pirate that Oda represents in his original One Piece. The first draft of One Piece is peace mains are the good pirates and buccaneers are the bad pirates. Okay, so as a peace main, I think these guys can't be bad, basically. So I want to know your opinion about all of this as well, about Shanks, about for you what type of character Shanks is gonna be, because it's important, and the connections with Fisher Tiger and why he did what he did. Okay, but I think for me it's pretty clear. Okay, it's time for me to start adding some line work and everything. I want to do probably today 0.3. The character is a little bit larger. And let's see, I just want to focus 1 second here with the giant lips that he has. I love this type of characters, the teeth, everything, okay. And now we will do the face like this. It has this kind of lines here, a little bit of mustache as well here, okay. I think it's mustache, but like this. So, as I was saying, I think when he is there with the Holy Knights, he's tricking everyone. He wants to see the truth. He wants to learn everything that is the reality of his family. And then he's trying to destabilize, okay? He's trying to be a character that is gonna help the ones in need, is gonna follow Roger's legacy, and at the same time, he knows that he is not the chosen one. I think he knows everything ties to someone who is like Roger, someone who is a D, and all of this must have been learned, obviously, because the years in Roger's crew. Okay, so this is something I would say it cannot happen in another way. It cannot happen in another way. I don't see a scenario where Shanks has been playing someone in a bad way and he ends up being a bad guy. Okay, I think he is the character that Oda will make us think that, oh, he may be bad, but at the end of the day it was a sacrifice all along. For all of those who have seen or read Harry Potter, I'm gonna do a big spoiler of Harry Potter, obviously. Harry Potter is already 20 or 30 years old, so it's difficult to keep it a secret, but we all know that Snape represents this type of character, I think. Okay, Snape is the one who is like a double or even triple agent. He is the one who basically sacrificed his life for the good of everyone, to help everyone to save to be saved from Voldemort, even if he was considered a bad guy. Okay, even now, seeing this, that Shanks may have been a bad guy or looking like a bad guy for a period of time, or behaved like a bad guy for a period of time, I do not think for a second he is actually a rat, or he is actually someone that at core he is bad. I think he's just trying to find his way. There are characters, and I talk about this in multiple episodes, in multiple videos here. There are characters that I don't think they care about their past, about their parents, about their family, about the history in general. Like someone like Zorro, doesn't matter if he is coming from a family that is connected to the daimyos. It doesn't matter if it comes to from someone like legendary swordsman and everything. He doesn't care. He just wants to be his own person and do whatever he wants. Create his own path. Shanks is a little bit different. Shanks is someone who I think is more emotional. He will be for me a mix between Sanji and Zorro, where the emotional bit of Sanji and the I don't care of Zorro mixes, and he is both characters in one. That is very interesting as a character design, I would say. Okay, let's do this, the hand here with the textures and everything. Okay, very nice, very interesting. So that is my opinion. Okay, that is my opinion. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe nothing like this is happening, and I'm just kind of trying to force a good Shanks, and maybe he's just gonna be a bad guy and all of this was a plan, but I think what happens is that he knew some truth, he wanted to see the reality for himself, he decided to basically go and visit the family and see how bad they were actually, and at the end of the day he started putting everything out of place. I don't think we are gonna see a good Shanks in the next episode. I think Shanks needs to do something very horrendous, horrible, to kind of reassure Shamrock that he is a holy knight, he is a bad guy, he is with the Garling family now, with the Figueroa family now. I think he needs to prove that they are not just gonna accept him like this. So I fear he may execute, or he may hand someone to the Marines or to the government. I fear that in his quest of for the higher good, let's say, he may do some damage. He has to do some damage. If you want to create a nice storytelling, a nice character, he should do something bad for the reader, for us, to believe that he may be a bad guy at the end of the day. I think that's must happen in the story. I want to know your opinion as well about this. I know that if you are a One Piece fan, probably you are a fan of many other stories like me, that they involve this kind of tricky characters and tricky situations that you don't know what they may do. I think maybe he knew all the Gomu Gomu things, maybe he fed the fruit to Luffy because he heard him as well multiple times talking like the captain was talking, so maybe he thought, I'm just gonna put the fruit around. If the fruit has will, in reality, the fruit is gonna choose him. And probably all of this was orchestrated, yes, probably he's using Luffy as a guinea pig, yes, in some aspects, but not in a bad way. I think he will help Luffy and he will try to protect Luffy. I do not see for a second, not even for a second, a moment where he fights Luffy or he kind of opposes Luffy. I think he is like a gatekeeper, basically. He is the character who is opening the path to Luffy, helping Luffy to become the chosen one, basically. Maybe I'm mistaken, as I said at the beginning. Sometimes Oda makes these decisions that are very surprising for everyone, and I love them, but anything can happen in this story. So let's do the feet here, okay. The sandals as well, everything. Okay. So as per now, I haven't read fully. I've been checking some spoilers and things of the episode, but feel free to comment and discuss and talk. So probably soon I'm gonna be able to see everything and interact. I wanna know your opinion of Shanks. I wanna know if you think that Shanks was bad originally as well. I want to see contrast. I want to see opinions and yeah, I'm going to be checking as well online what people is thinking or what people is kind of turning into, in the sense of maybe because of this episode, because of this liberation, because of these moments that we see Shanks in a double situation, like he's with the bad guys but helping the good guys. So I think there is no doubt in my mind, in my heart, that Shanks is playing his own cards here and helping the slaves and being a good guy. And now he needs to prove. That's why he's forcing these ugly Shanks, let's say, ugly Shanks, into the family, into the brother, into everyone, so they can trust him. Okay, maybe that's the word. Maybe he's doing this so they can trust him. I don't know what word I would say to define this better than than this, like faking this, so they can trust him. Yes, to have information, to have the reality of what is happening inside, and then move his cards. I think if he now is free, like going with the pirates and going all around and being Junko and everything, is because these flashbacks needs to have some information as well on how he is discovered as a bad guy. Maybe they just realize that he basically liberated this guy, took the shackles, and because of this he was able to save a lot of people there. I think this has a lot of possibilities there. I think Shamrock nowadays is not friend of the brother, is not liking the brother or anything. So just keep an eye on what's happening with Shanks, because we have been waiting for this like 30 years. Since the very beginning of One Piece, we have been waiting for the Shanks reveal and for the Shanks secrets and everything. Okay, so let's do a lot of reds in Fisher Tiger, a lot of pinks. Okay, when Oda is using pinks in general, like for example with Shirahoshi, this is a sign of goodness as well in One Piece, in my opinion. There may be other characters around that they may be bad guys, that they have pink or pink hair, but if you think about some key characters like Kobe as well with the pink hair, there are some very important endgame characters with pink hair, pink colors like Momo. Momo is as well endgame for whatever is going to happen with the ancient weapons. As well, we have Loki now with having this pinky, purplish type of color, pale, and that is going to be a key character as well going forward. This flashback is about him. This episode is about him as well. He is in the episode as well at the very end. At the end of the day, the episode is some sort of call to help Ida, I don't know how you will pronounce it, but it's to help the mother that has been basically poisoned, as I understand, by the enemy clan, that is the family of the other woman probably. So this is something like we see the color pink having an importance. We need to see as well that within the color, because this is all about in One Piece, a lot of the characters are based in color theory. Pink is as well from a variation of reds, or kind of a pale type of red. Okay, reds, it's Shanks, so Shanks is there as a character who is gonna help us. That doesn't mean it needs to work all the time like this, because we have things like characters with red tones that are bad, and that's it. But there are some characters, obviously, in a story, in a world building concept, when you do characters in so many scenarios, some of the characters may just get colors for the sake of getting colors, but they are not relevant for the story. Okay, like, I don't know, let's say a random character from the Rosa is not going to be important if this color is green or blue or pink, because he's not relevant for the story at the end of the day. Okay, but with the important characters, I mean, that's why you have this kind of clear separation of tones as well in the group, in the main group in One Piece. With we know that Luffy is red. We know Zoro is green. We know Nami is orange. So there is separation with color. The color palettes are important here. Okay, as well. Connections with, King Harald here, that in this episode seems to be someone who is being manipulated. He's gonna be manipulated a lot. He's gonna do whatever the government wants him to do, and that is very bad. So he's gonna be doing pretty bad stuff as well. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think he's gonna be doing some bad things. It is very interesting how Oda said it without saying it, in the sense of ancient weapons and the connections. It is very interesting how, trying to find the yellow, it's very interesting how he basically paired these two characters, Neptune and Harald, that they are the fathers of these two guys that Shirahoshi, it is an ancient weapon, but low-key, we think it may be connected as well to the ancient weapon concepts. I'm gonna put here my theory of ancient weapons because it's very interesting. I have very nice theories about how everything can play in the Uranus theory and in the Elbaf possibility of having one of the ancient weapons at the very top of the tree as well, connections with Copacabana and everything. Everything is very nicely explained in that theory. Okay, so the lips, I forgot to paint the lips here. Okay, and I want to mark some this kind of military looking type of shirt like this that he's wearing. Okay, like this with this kind of clouds. It's not clouds, it's like grass, different tones of grass here to camouflage. Okay. The concept of Fisher Tiger is the character who wants the change and he fights for the change with all his heart. He has suffered the consequences of being a slave. He has suffered the world. The world is emo. He has suffered the world government and he cannot forgive that. He helps Koala. At the end of the day, he returns Koala. Because returning Koala, he's captured by Strawberry, and at the end, he ends up well, not captured, but he's gonna die because of this. He ends up fatally wounded here, and he refuses at the end of the day to have the blood of a human in him. There are humans there that he could have received a transfusion of blood and survive, but he says in that moment, I cannot do it. I am up for the fight, but I cannot do it myself. So all of this is slavery. Is a very real topic that we touch in One Piece a lot. It is something that Oda is focusing a lot. We know with Boa Hancock as well, a story that we see as well for a moment. Boa Hancock here and the sisters. It is a chain. We see the concept of slavery being remarked and connected with Shanks. Shanks is the one who is trying to take matters in his own hands, take action, move some pieces in the background so everything can be freed from this system. Shanks, even if he's not the chosen one, he is playing the card of chosen one. He is the assistant of chosen one. He is like the wizard, let's say, in my opinion. Not even I always said that he's the father figure of Luffy, but in the sense of Joseph Campbell hero's journey, this is kind of portraying like a circle, like different steps, on the 12 steps of the hero, that they need to have an ordinary life, and then something happens, something magical happens, they receive some assistance, they pass some trials until they kind of overcome these trials. This is in the circle, and then come back to the reality. So there is this one of the first steps is this meeting of a mentor, of a magical being, of someone who is gonna assist you, that you, in multiple stories, in different stories, you will call this, for example, Gandalf. You will call this some sort of Dumbledore in the story. You will call this, in this case, you could say Shanks is this person. He seems to be this person more and more, even if he's not an old man. He is this one who is inspiring, assisting, helping, making Luffy able to be the main character. Like Gandalf will say, "Oh, Bilbo, let's go. Oh, Frodo, let's go. I'm going with you." Shanks is telling him, "Oh, I can't take it with you." Oda is twisting this. Say, "Oh, I can't take you with me, you know." But look at that chest there. Just eat that fruit. He's not saying it. He's just leaving the fruit there to be eaten. So he's kind of positioning the pieces in the board so things that he wants are happening. I repeat, I am not saying that by doing this he's a bad guy, but he may have to do bad things, okay? He may have to do bad things, and we will definitely see him doing bad things in the story pretty soon to achieve a change. Everyone wants the change, but as well, we need to see as well now that we know for certain that his story with the scar, it is not connected to Blackbeard, we need to see how the parallelism of these two characters connects there. There is a very strong point that this is a slavery, so I do not discard the idea of Shebek's wife and the baby that does teach somehow end up now being captured again. They have lived already the concept of slavery, the concept of being hunted, the concept of fear in this flashback. It is very prominent. It is very important. This is the main topic of this thingy. They may have a second round of fear to create more pain, and so you feel bad even more for Blackbeard, so you don't see him as a bad guy anymore. You see him as someone who maybe deserves some sort of justice, and because he's going to be doing bad things as well. But all of this, I think, is connected because the concept of slavery. We have seen this so far. We didn't know that there was a connection there with Shanks, with the concept of slavery, with the concept of trying to fix the world. We know, yes, that he wanted to, he was some sort of savior in some sort. He was trying to fix the world on his own way. We all assumed he was a god's knight at some point. We all assumed he had to be with them for a period of time. We all assumed these things. I don't think there is gonna be a One Piece fan of 20 years or 30 years surprised by this news, to be honest. Probably this is something that yeah, it can be discussed, or maybe it creates a little bit of a ruckus these days of 1167 being around, because it's been revealed, like, oh, you know, he's there with them, but we knew this already. We knew this already. We knew all of this is part of his plan. We knew he's trying to fix the world from inside and from outside at the same time. He's strong to be able to do so, and we're gonna see that pretty soon. I don't think Oda is gonna reveal the whole thing now, not right now. He's gonna be giving us slow and small bites of information, like revealing lore slowly. This flashback is absolutely crazy. I absolutely love it. I can't see more. I want to read 1167, 1168. I want to see what happens in the round episode. When we reach a round number in One Piece, there is always something key happening. You can check all the round numbers and you will see. And it is scary. It is scary because I don't know what I'm gonna do once all of this is finished. Probably reread and see and trying to find more details in the story. But it is scary because it is heading towards the end, and everything that we have waited for during years. Like, you know, I remember reading originally Whitebeard talking with Shanks, and Shanks arriving into the ship and fainting and everything, and that's years and years and years ago. Probably, maybe you are watching the video and you are younger, and maybe you weren't even born, you know. Maybe you are younger and you are just catching up now with the story and everything, or you are fresh into the story. You can be younger in age or younger as well in being in the One Piece fan world, and it is scary. It is scary. I want to know as well if there are, you know, older people like me here doing some One Piece reading and enjoying and trying to discover the reality of One Piece, and feel free to drop the response in the comment section, and we can talk about, or at what point in the story you joined maybe in the One Piece. I remember watching the very beginning of One Piece on TV, and at some point I stopped. I wasn't fan yet, and then I think before Frankie, more or less, before I think Water 7 or before Water 7, I was already week by week watching everything. So it's a lot. There's a lot of content, beautiful and intense. And I said it many times. I love many stories, but One Piece is the story that for me it marked my views. in storytelling, my wanting to do things, my everything. So I love Lord of the Rings as well, and I love Harry Potter, and I love many stories as well. Different stories related, always fantasy related for me, for my taste. But One Piece is the story. It is this story. Many of my stories as well, many of my drawings, my characters, like I do for myself. When you look at them, I had messages about this before doing the YouTube channel. Some people like would say, you know, man, this character reminds me to a little bit to One Piece. You know, the style is a little bit similar to One Piece, and that makes me happy. I like it. It is true that when you are fan of something, sometimes your style it gets, you know, impregnated and full of references or similar concepts. So I want to know as well if you feel like this, but maybe with another story. Maybe you are more fan of Bleach, or Bleach did this to you, and you are doing your drawings, and when you draw, the style is more similar to the Kubo style, to the artist, manga artist Kubo style. Feel free to share it as well. You know, half of this channel is about One Piece, but the other half is about art in general, where we talk about books, comics, series, webtoons, TV shows, everything like you can imagine, other mangas as well, other stories. I'm gonna put a link here as well so you can see other stuff non-One Piece related. And I wanna know what you like. I wanna know what made you basically come here, and maybe if you are here for the One Piece videos, or you are here for the art videos, or if you are drawing with me, draw along with me, that I know people is doing as well. Feel free to mention it as well. I would like to know what made you a fan of art, a fan of One Piece, or if there are other stories, like I said, like I don't know, maybe you studied art because you love Lord of the Rings and you want to do world building, or because you love I don't know, Snoopy the cartoon and you want to do caricatures, things like this. I don't know. I wanna know other experiences, and we can discuss it. We can talk. It's always nice to talk with other artists as well, or other people who wants to get in art, or other people who just basically likes the things that are created for us for entertainment, like stories and comics and things. And yeah, that can be very, very interesting. We are basically done here. I'm just doing some couple of lines, loose lines here and there, so we close the design, but we are almost just adding, you see, as you can see, some details here to create a little bit of shading inside of the code. I love as well when Oda draws the codes. I think I may say this in every single episode, in every single video that we draw. I don't know why today I'm calling the video episode, but I call it like this, like probably 4 times, and I don't know why. But yeah, let's do this like this. So in a nutshell, today we have talked a little bit about some spoilers I've seen unwillingly or willingly, I don't know, but I don't do this normally, but I end up watching some spoilers, and these spoilers contained some information, some images of Shanks helping Fisher Tiger cutting the shackles and the collar so he could escape. Kind of giving him some information of probably go there or take these things from there, or there are weapons there, or there are slaves there, like giving him a tip so he can action his plan and liberate other people. So we can understand with this video and with this moment in the chapter that without Shanks, probably this guy would have ended up dying a couple of steps forward, encountering Shamrock, encountering Garling, encountering a random Terrorito and exploding the collar. If it weren't for Shanks, probably we wouldn't have had all these developments with the Gyojin either. Okay? So that is very important. He has been given the role of a savior. Shanks. Shanks the rat, a lot of people is calling him, I do not think that is true. I do not think that is true. In this channel, I don't think you will see me talking about Shanks being a bad guy. As I said, we discussed as well that because he needs to trick the family, trick the world government into having him to get information, he may have to do very radical bad things to be accepted, to pretend to be a bad guy. We are seeing this already in some images as well in these spoilers. So I say maybe he needs to kill, hand to the Marines, or do something bad to someone that is good or assist in a very bad situation like a buster call or something like this, or in games as well, for them to believe him, to believe that he returned. And then when he has this information that he wants to gather and he wants to put his pieces, like I'm gonna free Fisher Tiger, this is gonna lose some economy is important, this is gonna create revolution with the guillotine, so he is a strategist. He is a strategist. So when these pieces are in place, then he will leave. He may not have a fight, but he may leave and then cut the ties with them, okay? They may allow him some free movement as double agent. Maybe, as I said, he's like a Snape. He's working for Dumbledore, working for Voldemort, doing tasks for both of them. It is very likely, like it is like this, it is very likely that he may be still talking with the Gorosei, talking with some of the top tiers there and everything, and that may create separation in the fandom, and some of them will say, oh, I don't think that is good, that is correct. Some others will say, well, that is the real world. So there are going to be as well different opinions, I will say here. But the important thing is that because Shanks saved him, he was able to come back to the Guillotine Island, create the Sun Pirates, release the Sun Pirates to the world, help Otohime as well in her path of liberation of the Guillotine, and all this story. I know the story of this chapter is very focused in Harald, very focused in Loki's as well, but for me, this is the key. This character is the key in the story. Maybe during the week I can put some comments here and there, as I said before at the beginning, in the posts about Harald, about the chat with Neptune, what happened there, about the chat with Shamrock, what happened there, about Ida and this kind of poison situation looks like, and why would they kill her as well, and everything as well. The ending of this episode with Loki basically squishing or smashing the head of this other guy, showing that yes, these guys killed her on purpose, and he was growing fond of her, like as a mother. I think at the beginning he had this rejection towards her. He didn't want her, but years passed and he's like an adult now. You could see that in the drawing he's an adult. He's not like a kid anymore, like when he was like, oh no, let me be. Now, you know, they're adults, and this is gonna affect him. Now the only piece I am missing here is Lola. So after this, he is gonna find kindness, I believe, in Lola, and Lola is gonna reject him, and that when he's gonna boom, go a little bit upside down everything. I'm gonna put this video here because for me, I think this stepmother was step one to change. She changed Harald, but she cannot change Loki as well. She may have been going into that territory, yes, but she dies, and then someone else needs to step in. In this case, I think Lola may have some connections there. I explained the things in that video there. Feel free to have a look. Okay, so if you are liking these videos as well, say it, like it, subscribe, click on that bell that you have there so you receive an update when I have something new here posted, like hey, there is a new video, hey, there is a new sketchbook tour, things like this. I haven't done a sketchbook tour in a while, and I fancy doing one, so probably soon I'm going to be doing one. And yeah, feel free to share with your friends, with your nakamas and everything. We finished for today. Let's sign here at the bottom. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23. You can say it as you want, and this is the Mandrago's Cave. I hope you like the video, this kind of spoilers, sorry about that, and the drawing, okay? Fisher Tiger, I think one of my favorite characters in One Piece. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!